Hi, hello, and a very warm welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 key mistakes to avoid in business. That is, 10 key mistakes to avoid in business. You know, all businesses make mistakes, and that's okay. Whether you're running your first or your fifth business, prevention is key. Now, here are the common mistakes small businesses make and how you can avoid them. The first one is not writing a business plan. You know, writing a business plan is an important part of creating a sustainable business and standing out from the competition. A strategic business plan creates momentum, which means that because you have a clear and researched idea, you're inspired to succeed. But many new entrepreneurs begin their venture without thinking about the big picture. They then have no understanding of the market, finances, business models, or logistics, and that lack of understanding can cost time, money, and effort when things go wrong. Now, to avoid this common mistake, you can do that by creating a business plan to help identify the unknowns and spot the gaps you need to fill in. Do you need to work with a 3PL or ship manually? How will you manufacture products? Who are you selling to? You know, every product you create should relate back to your business plan. This is going to help you stay on track to meet your business needs and goals and build one that doesn't fail. The second mistake that you need to avoid in business is not focusing on cash flow and profits. Avoid not focusing on cash flow and profits. You know, one financial mistake entrepreneurs make is not paying attention to cash flow and profits. If you ask any seasoned entrepreneur what the most important skill in running a business is, they'll say it's math. Many of them start their business as a hobby, and they don't pay as much attention to the numbers as they should. You know, business math works very simply. To see how you're profitable, profitable your business can be, I would advise you to use this formula. Profit is equals to demand times revenue minus expenses. Your profit is equals to demand times revenue minus expenses. Are there a lot of expenses to account for? You know, small businesses spend an average of about $40,000 in their first full year of business. And, you know, this is spent on things like operating, marketing, online products, shipping, teams, and offline. You know, if I had to break down the formula, assume that there are 20,000 people searching for your product online per month. If you can put yourself in front of even half of those people, that's 10,000 potential buyers, then that would be excellent. And if you convert at the average of between 1 to 2%, that's 100 to 200 sales. And if your average order value is $100 and you have a net profit margin of 30,000, 30%, your profit will be anything between $3,000 to $6,000 per month. Of course, these are really rough estimates, but whatever you get into, if you've done the math, you know what you're in for. So avoid this common mistake by keeping track of your potential profits and cash flow using the formula that I have given you. Now, the third mistake that a lot of businesses make is not assessing their business idea. One of the biggest mistakes you can make when starting a new business is not doing market research. You want to learn about the competition and understand how you can differentiate yourself from them. Competition can be other small businesses carrying the same products as you, or it can be market giants like Amazon and Walmart. Sometimes entrepreneurs dive into a niche market without determining if it's a good fit or not. There are cases where a niche has low demand and too much established competition. And if that's the case, you may not want to build a business around it. To understand the market landscape, you'll need to do some research. Find your niche's competitors. Find your niche's competitors and look at the number of online reviews. Look at the social engagement. Look at the blogging habits. Look at the press coverage. Look at the search engine optimization rankings. You'll also want to evaluate whether the market is just a trend or if it's a sustainable category you can grow a presence in over time. With a strong understanding of the market situation, you'll have no trouble building a business in the right niche. The next mistake that you need to avoid in business is spreading yourself thin with products. A big mistake new business owners make is selling too many products. Sometimes if one product doesn't sell well, owners will add more products to their store to attract potential customers. This doesn't always help. Say you have a store that sells eco-friendly recyclable bags, but no one buys them. So you add more eco-friendly products from your supplier. Eventually you have a whole medley of products with no relation between them besides being eco-friendly. And if your branding is about bags and not other eco-friendly products, it's going to be hard to attract the right customer. The error here is more of a branding error than a product error. So building a brand is just as important as the products you sell. Since your brand is how people perceive your business. The next mistake that you want to avoid in business is not investing in organic marketing. One common mistake businesses make is not focusing on organic marketing. The lure of paid ads like PPC is reasonable. You pay for an ad, someone clicks through and buys your products. Immediate revenue. But imagine if you could get traffic to your site for free. Despite the upfront cost of organic content marketing, 70% of clicks go to organic Google search results. On page 1 alone, the first 5 organic results get 67.6% of all the clicks. Sometimes it's difficult to write content for a boring niche. How much can someone manage to write about reusable bags? For instance, the key here is to do content creating, not according to a product, but according to your customers. Continuing the reusable bags, for example, who would potentially want reusable bags? Someone that was environmentally conscious, right? It's also likely that they are into eating healthy, working out, yoga, and natural wellness. These are all initial hunches, but a little bit of research can confirm them. By building your content marketing strategy around the ideal customer rather than around a product, you have a lot more to write about and a lot more ways to connect with your audience. Even if your niche is very technical and you manage to write 50 to 100 articles just on the nuances of your product, that information will only go so far. To really round off your effort, You'd want to have more in common with your customer than just the fact that they are buying something you sell. Now, the next mistake that you want to avoid in business is not thinking freebies and contests through. Businesses fail from overspending on stuff like freebies and contests. Some do very well giving away stuff for free. Freebies, contests, and giveaways are an effective way to market a product, but they aren't a good fit for every niche. Freebies could work on perishable or consumable products like skincare, foods, supplements, and the like. For all the other products, even if it's something that someone could order another one of, like a piece of clothing, for example, it's very hard to make it work. What I have learned from that expensive experience was that these gimmicks don't really drive sales. They build a brand. And to build a brand, you need to have a plan. Now, the next key mistake that you absolutely want to avoid in business is not hiring help. Doing it alone is the main school of thought for many entrepreneurs. In economics, there is a concept of opportunity cost. Essentially, when you choose to pursue any other opportunity, the cost of that to you is that your time no longer is that your time is no longer free for other opportunities. So the cost of one opportunity is actually every other opportunity you have. If you're bootstrapping your own business, chances are you did everything yourself. You set up the website, you tinkered with it, you uploaded products, you wrote all the product descriptions, you did all the marketing. Now, a spectacular one-person show. The problem here is that while doing everything yourself is great, it's also incredibly time-consuming. This is time you could be using elsewhere, spending it with your family, cooking up new ideas or business relationships, just to name a few. Menu tasks come in two varieties, necessary and unnecessary. You want to try and automate as many necessary menu tasks as possible. This process will cost a bit of money, but the headache and the heartache you save typically outweighs the money you'll spend. Besides, you can often find people that will gladly do these tasks, like inventory, uploading, data entry, etc., for you for a reasonable amount of money. Unnecessary manual tasks have to go on the chopping block. By unnecessary, I mean things like spending too much time tinkering with your site's logo, fiddling with image sizes, going into unnecessary detail about the color of a button, or some other minor change that probably you alone have noticed. Some of the things that I've mentioned above can have a positive effect on your conversions, but you'll only know once you've got a lot of visitors and the sales to compare it to. In the early stages of your business, you want to avoid those things, especially since after 2 hours of tinkering, you'll feel like you did a lot of work, but realistically, your time could have been better spent. A business decision you'll have to make is if you need to hire help. And this could be a co-founder, a freelancer, or even a part-time or full-time employee to get tasks done and help you grow your business. You don't have to do it all on your own. Now, the next mistake that you want to avoid in business is not knowing your target audience. Doing quality research comes in two parts, finding product ideas and knowing your customers. The tricky thing here is that you can have customers and then build on a product, but it's very difficult to have a product and then hunt for customers. Most of the conventional wisdom says to look at numbers and analytics when researching a niche, and that's absolutely necessary. But another critical step most entrepreneurs miss is finding an ideal customer and building a customer profile. Even if your niche has sufficient demand and a good selection of products, without knowing your ideal customer, it will be a lot harder to sell. If you dig deep enough, you'll find that niches have niches within them. The more you can target, the better, since it will be easier to identify with your customer needs. Now, the next key mistake that you want to avoid in business is not having a solid marketing plan. The saying goes, fail to plan, plan to fail. Now, when you set up an e-commerce website and you know who your customers are and where you can find them, setting up your marketing plan should be easy. Unfortunately, if you don't know either of those things, your marketing campaigns will be more like throwing spaghetti on the wall, doing one thing after another and hoping something sticks. Now, while every e-commerce business should have a well-rounded marketing plan that covers all bases, some channels will obviously be more effective than others. Some businesses will do better with pay-per-click advertising, while some will shine with SEO or social media. Email is a steady sales channel too. Whatever your plan, make sure it is in place from the time you launch. New opportunities will naturally arise, but your foundation, if strong, will allow for steady and scalable growth. Now, the next mistake that you absolutely want to avoid in business is not securing intellectual property. Intellectual property is the right you have to do to anything created as a result of your original idea. Your business may have intellectual property. You'll want to protect yourself from your competitors. Now, this includes copyrights, for example, trademarks, patents, and trade secrets, in addition to business property such as equipment. If your IP is stolen or infringed on, international regulations can be used to take your case to court and defend your IP. So, intellectual property rights vary geographically. So you must protect your rights in accordance with the IPR laws of your country. But whatever you do, okay, remember to protect your intellectual property. Make sure that it is secured. Make sure your copyrights, you make sure your trademarks, make sure your patents, make sure your trade secrets are protected. So there you go. Those are the 10 key mistakes that you need to make sure that you avoid in business. With all those mistakes laid out, you might be wondering, how do I know when I'm on the right track? Now, no one can predict the future for you, but to help you in some small way, here is a short list of the hard but worthwhile work you should do to successfully launch and run an online business. First, write a business plan. Secondly, research your niche. Is there demand? Thirdly, know your customers. Who exactly are you solving a problem for? Because every single business venture begins with you attempting to solve a specific problem. Next, find a gap in the market. Is there some value you can add, or you just are doing it blindly? Next, have a marketing plan in place and invest in organic search. Next, avoid wasting time with distractions. Next, hire help. And finally, secure your intellectual property. And last, but certainly not least, persevere. Truth is, even as your business grows and succeeds, the mistakes don't stop coming. What changes is how you overcome them. We learn just as much from our mistakes as we do our successes. By understanding these common business mistakes in the first place, you're well on your way to overcoming any challenges that confront your business. So there you go. Those are the 10 key mistakes that you need to avoid in business. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, share it with somebody else so that they can also benefit from it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have a look at the rest of the videos that I have in my channel, because I'm very sure you're going to find a couple that are going to make a difference in your business ventures. Because remember, this channel is all about money. If it has anything to do with money, I upload it, because my goal is to help you thrive financially in all aspects of your life, especially in trade and e-commerce. Now, thank you everyone, and I shall see you in our next video. Bye bye.